Gemini, big welcome to you. This is your tarot reading for the month of May, coming to you from the mountains of Java. Now, by the time you listen to this, it'll probably be Eid, so I should first of all wish you Eid Mubarak, or as we say in Indonesia, Selamat Hari Raya Idul Fitri. Now, above all, I hope you get something from this, Gemini. And if you do, if you could do me a favour, subscribe, hit the like button and pass a comment. It all helps me with these dreaded algorithms. But above all, this is about you, Gemini. I really want you to get something from it. I really do. Now I'll be using probably two decks, but out of three decks. So the first deck is Tarot Nusantara, the second deck is the Steampunk deck, and the third deck is the Light Visions Tarot. Tarot Nusantara is actually a new one to me, which I love, whereas the Light Visions I've struggled with as a result of the rendering. Although I think I'll grow into it, I will keep using it and coming back to it. You can see on all of them I'm using quite a lot of salt, and that's to clear the energy and the spirits from them, something that I do fairly regularly with my tarot. And I also, you'll see a number of Jimat there that I use just to bring a good energy to the tarot and to my reading. On the spirits of the mountains to assist me in shuffling these cards, in selecting the right cards and interpret them for Gemini for May 2022. Gemini. I often use this phrase, but this really does feel like it. The tapestry of life. This spread suggests to me there's ups and downs in May. Ups and downs that are the things that go on in life, the things that we all experience and you'll be preoccupied with. Maybe before I launch into it, I ought to just say to you that I suppose I often find a story that's fairly controversial or outlandish in my readings. And of course that's just an extreme of what it could be. You might experience nothing like that, but these are the energies on your life during the period I'm reading for. So you might feel some of the tensions without experiencing the big thing that I'm talking about. So excuse me if I overdo this reading for you, but clearly for some people this will happen. Sorry, I've made it sound like this reading's very dramatic. I don't think it is that dramatic. Look at that middle card. That middle card, the Ten of Cups. I mean, that really is a beautiful happy families card. You know, you're blessed. You're blessed with money. You're blessed. Well, are you blessed with money? You might not be. You're certainly blessed with families, you're blessed with many things, you're blessed with happiness for sure, blessed with love. Recent past, bottom right, a time of looking towards the past. Again, maybe a time of happy families, a time of plenty. But the current card is the Death card. An ending to something, a painful ending to something. I'm sure it's related to that past. So something from the past, I believe, has come to an end. And now we have, I say now, in the future we have the Ten of Wands, carrying an extra burden, finding it difficult, but knowing that there is an end in sight. The energy impacting on the outcome is the Two of Swords, difficult decisions to make. Maybe don't have all the information to make them. The card that would offset the outcome is the Ten of Pentacles. So whereas the overall reading is the Nine of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles is this happy family and affluence. And the outcome is the Nine of Pentacles, which is a lovely card. Lovely card, got affluence. But don't have somebody to share it with. So very interesting, the interplay between the 10 and the 9 there. Very interesting indeed. Yeah, I've got a story already in my head, and I think I need to look at the cards before I get it completely wrong. So yes, the energy running through the whole of this is the Ten of Cups. I mean, it's a happy families card. I mean, look at the card. Look, they couldn't be more in love. They're dressed complimentary. They've got the 2 children. Now, there might not be children yet, but it's a blissful card, a blissful love card. So there's no doubt that this reading is about love, is about happiness, is about somebody that you feel so strongly with. And this card runs throughout everything. So I have to look at all the other cards and all that's happening in the light of this blissful love card. And I say, just look at it. It's wonderful, isn't it? You know, they've got their arms around each other, so much in love. The children playing. Got what looks to be a lovely house up on the hill there. You know, it couldn't be better. So it is a sort of happy families card, and this energy runs throughout the entire reading. So there's no doubt in my mind, Gemini, this reading is about love. And now in your recent past, we have the past. What to make of that? Well, this could be in the recent past, you thinking of the past. We often think of the past through rose-coloured spectacles, don't we? And this is look at this card. It certainly is the mother and the daughter dressed beautifully and complimentary. The father on guard, so there's safety. They've got a beautiful house, so there's shelter. There's a temple there, so they've got, I suppose, the upper pinnacles of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you know. They've got those cups with flowers in them. It looks absolutely beautiful. And I think you're reminiscing about this time. You're reminiscing about the past. I think you're reminiscing about a past love. It might even have been a past marriage or a past relationship. That's what I feel. And I don't know how far in the past it was. And you'll find out why with the next card. Because your current energy is the Death card. Now this does mean a painful ending to something. So if I'm right, you were in a relationship, even a marriage, it's suggesting that that marriage comes to an end. Of course, an alternative way, well, not an alternative, but it could be that reminiscing of the past, and you are married, but you get back together with an old sweetheart and that wrecks your marriage. Could be. I mean, it could be all sorts of things at this stage, but I think a marriage or a very close relationship comes to an end. You look at the card, there's death, chopping down everything in sight. But there's that old man there standing up to him. There's an old man standing up to him. And behind the old man is a mountain with a Hindu temple on it and the sun shining behind it. So there's always hope. There's always hope. Yeah. And you know, sometimes maybe things need to come to an end. You don't want it to be a painful ending like this. It would be better if it could have been negotiated, but sometimes they have to end like this. Okay, let's move on. Because your future energy also suggests that an ending is in sight because it's the Ten of Wands. And now this is you carrying an extra burden, perhaps struggling to carry an extra burden. So I'm still using analogies. I'm not sure I've got the story right, but supposing you were married with a family, that ends, and now you have to struggle to look after that family or pay for that family all on your own. And it's a little bit difficult. And you're struggling. And if you look at the card, I mean, I don't think he's wrapped those wands correctly to be able to carry them. And of course, when something abruptly ends, we're not ready for it, are we? There would be better ways of organising our life. But it happens like that, and we're just not ready. So we don't do it in the best way possible. I mean, you may know my story about my wife being attacked by black magic and losing her mind. Fortunately, we'd already built a house in the mountains in Java. But I hadn't. We have to both buy a car and get our driver's license in the place where we're registered to live. So I'm registered to live in Jakarta. But because of what happened to my wife, we largely live in Java, up a mountain. Now, it would have been much better if I had a car and a driver's license and could drive round. But we've spent nearly 5 years up a mountain with no bus service, or certainly not going up the mountain. No public transport to speak of, no car and no motorbike. Because I didn't get a driver's license in Jakarta before all this happened, because we weren't expecting it to happen, you know. And so I think that's what it's like. Something has happened quite suddenly and you weren't prepared for it, and it's a bit of a struggle. But if you look, there's a house, his house is there, it's not far, he's going to get to it, he knows the end is in sight. So it's not a bad, I mean, it's a good card, it's a good card. Now, the energy impacting on the outcome is the Two of Swords. This is about difficult decisions. If you look, she is blindfolded, so she can't really make the decision because she can't see. There's a moon in the sky which suggests the unknown. So there's uncertainties, there's things you don't know about, but you're being asked to make a decision. And certainly, given that you don't know, she's got a sword in either hand and they both look identical, so she can't tell. But she needs to make a decision, and it's very difficult. Maybe if she took off that blindfold, she would see that the tide is coming in and she's actually in danger. So making a decision, there's a degree of urgency to that she's even unaware of. Maybe. And I do actually know what the decision is, but we'll come to that. The card that would change the outcome is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, this is you being blessed with absolutely everything. Blessed with abundance, blessed with families, blessed with shelter, blessed with everything. Look at the card. 10 Pentacles, which means wealth, almost certainly. The husband, the wife, the children, even the granddad there, all dressed beautifully and complimentary. 2 loving dogs. There's a lot of love there, isn't there? There's a lot of harmony, there's a lot of love, there's everything you'd want. The house looks wonderful, even the blue sky. So everything looks oh, I don't know the importance of that archway. Something sort of spiritual about that, or are they in a palace? I'm not sure. I'd never seen that before. Whatever. Many blessings. Many blessings. Fabulous card. And the outcome is the Nine of Pentacles, which is also a fabulous card. So we look at it There she is in a beautiful, beautiful garden with grapes. Now, grapes are quite rare in Indonesia, so that's wonderful. She's got 9 pentacles. Does that mean that she's got less money than the 10? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But she's got plenty of money, plenty of blessings. The garden is fabulous. There's a Hindu temple in the background there. Those things that look like fly agaric mushrooms aren't. They're Balinese umbrellas. She's dressed beautifully. Even a bird has landed on her hand. What more could you wish for? What more could you wish for? Well, she's by herself. So do you remember the Two of Swords where I said you had a choice? You can have a choice between money, many blessings, and being by yourself, or money, many blessings, and being with your loved ones. That's the choice. That's the choice, Gemini. So that's why I said this was about the tapestry of life. You know, I think you lost the love and it's being offered back to you. You can forgive. You can take this person back. And if you do, you will be very happy together if you can find forgiveness. That's what it feels like to me, but let us get some confirmation. And I seek clarity on this Death card, because I think if we can understand what the Death card is about, then everything else will fit into place. Well, that's my belief anyway. And the first card of clarity we get is the King of Wands. Very much a king of action. Doesn't follow. Does what he thinks is best. An entrepreneur. The next card is the Temperance card. Seeing things from other people's points of view. Taking the middle ground. And then we have the Ace of Swords. Now this could be you receiving information, but I think it's about you seeing things in a different light. So very interesting cards there. So the first card is this King of Wands card. This is somebody, a man. I mean, you know, you might be a woman, but it's a king, so let's call him a man of action. A man that doesn't go with the flow, a man with his own ideas. You could see him as an entrepreneur, but he's somebody who takes charge. He's a natural leader. Now, remember, this is about the Death card. I wonder if you've pushed your views a little bit too strongly and that caused the relationship to break up. Or maybe it's the opposite and you didn't take control enough. No, you exerted too much control. That was it. You exerted your way and people didn't follow you this time. They normally do follow you, but this time they didn't. You attempted to control things a little bit too much in what I think was a marriage. You look at him, he looks a bit like a magician, doesn't he? You know, he looks a bit of a magician, looks a bit devious. And yeah, I think you wanted your way or the highway a bit too much in this relationship and it caused it to break up. Because you see, what you should have been doing is the Temperance card, Temperance. You should have been trying to understand the other person's point of view. You should have been conciliatory. You should have handed out an olive branch, but instead you charged off trying to control things as you always do. So you did exactly the wrong thing in these circumstances. Now, it sounds like I'm putting all the blame on you, and the misdemeanor could have been on behalf of your partner. Maybe they cheated on you. There could be many things that might have happened that you see yourself as being in the right. But you know, if you want to savour a relationship, there's no rights or wrongs, are there? There's only the relationship. There's only focusing on the relationship. So you should have been conciliatory. You weren't. And that caused the breakup. That's what this is about. That's what this is about. And if you look at the card, well, you know, balance, and she's an angel, isn't she? Forgiveness. Balance, forgiveness. Yeah. finding forgiveness in your heart, whatever has happened, so important. Final card is the Ace of Swords. Now, this could be two things. It could be that this, what I believe is a marriage, let's call it a relationship. This split up occurred because you got some information. Maybe you got some information that your partner was cheating on you. That could well be it. And, you took a very firm stance and said, I'm not putting up with this, get out. When you should have really found out why. What was going on? How can we resolve this? How can we turn this bad situation into good? So that could be one explanation. The other explanation is simply that it did cause the end, because you did run off like a bull in a china shop and try and control things. But now you're realising there would have been a better way of dealing with it. There would have been a better way of dealing with it. And realising that the way that you've been all your life, charging off, taking control, sometimes isn't the best way to be. And so you have a change in the way of your thinking that not only applies to this situation, but it changes you quite fundamentally. Yeah. Well, we can summarise for you now, Gemini. Gemini, there's no doubt about it. This reading is about loving relationships. And, it's a reading about life. And I'm pretty certain this is a relationship in the past that comes to an end. It could just be that it comes to an end because of you have an affair with a former childhood sweetheart. But I don't think that's it. No, I think you're the one who's hard done by. And the relationship comes to an end, and you try and take control. You try and be like a bull in a china shop. I think the other person did wrong. Maybe the other person had an affair, I don't know. But you charge around dictating the terms, and it's no good. The relationship ends. And what you should have done is try and understand their position and being much more conciliatory. And I think after it's too late, you realise that. After it's too late, you realise that the way you always are, like a bull in a china shop, was exactly the wrong thing to do. Not only in these circumstances, but maybe you've learned a lesson of life. And, of course, this ending has left you carrying an extra burden. Maybe you're looking after children. Whatever, things are more difficult. But, there's an end in sight. I don't think that's a terrible position you find yourself in. It's just a fact of life. But really, you've got a decision to make here. Because of, I don't think you're struggling money-wise, although clearly there's not as much money. But you've got a decision. Do you now, even though it's already ended, do you forgive and forget and take them back? And say, please come back, let's try and make a go of it. And if you do, there's every indication that you'll be extremely happy and things will be fine. Or do you decide, no, and this is on balance the way you're going, and you can probably be quite happy, and you'll still be affluent, but you'll be on your own. And I think that's the most likely outcome, but the universe is shouting out to you, look, if you can just change the way you are a little bit, you'll still be very happy. I mean, it's just your pride that's getting in the way here. What's that? That's just your ego, You shouldn't be doing anything based on your ego. You're your own worst enemy, aren't you? Yeah, Gemini. It'll be a difficult lesson to learn if you do learn it, but the universe would like you to learn it for sure. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed Tarot from Java as an addition to my channel, The Magic of Java.
Please take a look at the other videos that I have on this channel about magic from Java, and I hope that you will become a subscriber. Now, if you want to hear your next tarot reading, hit the button, and that will inform you of when I publish new readings. I'm certainly going to do a reading for every month, but maybe I will try them a bit more frequently, say a mid-month reading, and maybe also some special readings. But above all, thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you, and enjoy Java.